The other day, I streamed for hours to figure out which shiny Pokemon was the best, and I mean every single Pokemon in existence. How many Alchremies can there be? After the stream, I took it one step further, and using the algorithm on this website, I discovered the top 100 shinies in the Pokemon universe. Shout out to Hitmonaron for giving me this idea, and go check out his channel. Comment below where your favorite shiny ranks on the list, and subscribe for more insane Pokemon content. Before we start, please understand that numbers 50 through 100 are highly debatable, but numbers 49 through 1 are absolutely not. The top 50 are perfect, and I will not accept any slander for any of them. Number 100 is Uxie from the Lake Spirit trio. Number 99 is Jirachi. These two don't change much, but the new color palettes work well for them. Number 98 is Entei. Similar story here. Number 97 is Haxorus. 96, Spiritomb, who looks like cotton candy. Number 95, Politoed, who also looks like cotton candy. 94 is Crowned Zacian. Doesn't change too much, but it's just a cool design overall. At 93, we have Mega Garchomp. Better than regular Garchomp. Unpopular opinion, but at 92, we have Smoliv. The little black olive on his head is just the cutest thing. At 91, we have Mega Charizard Y, which brings up an important point for the future. I tried my best to keep the same evolutionary lines away from this list, but I didn't do a very good job at that, and you'll see that later. Number 90, Hisuian Electrode. The wood texture coupled with the black bottom is just kind of really cool, so he makes the list. Number 89 is Vanilla Cream Flower Alcremie, in this one specifically. 88, Bewear. While his original color palette is honestly cooler in my opinion, this one is really cool as well. Number 87, Galarian Meowth. Number 86, that guy. Number 85, Arceus, but the rock form. I thought it was cooler than the other ones. Number 84, Florges, Yellow Flower Florges. Number 83, Mega Absol. Number 82 is Blaziken. Number 81 is Salandit, but we'll also include its evolution because I'm trying not to take up too much space. Number 80 is Shelder, who made it kinda high on the list, but honestly, the orange is just such a cool color. Number 79, Primarina. 78 is Overqwil. And at number 77, Gigantamax Urshifu Rapid Strike. But Block Kid, you're including Gigantamax forms? You must not have heard me when I opened up this video. I ranked every single Pokemon in existence. That includes all of their alternate forms. And I think this Gigantamax deserves to make the list. At 76, we have Lunala. Cool design, but the original was cool already, and it just, I don't know, couldn't make it much higher for me personally. At 75, Mega Gardevoir. I already know that the comment sections are gonna get a little weird when we look at this Pokemon, but I just like the black dress. It changes enough for me to look cool, so that's my opinion. At 74, we have Staryu. Just classic Staryu, just super cool, nice color palette change, can't complain. At 73, Luxray. This should have just been the original color design for Luxray. I mean, the blue's not bad, but this screams electric Pokemon. At 72, we have Nosepass. I love little rock boys that turn into gold nuggets when they get shiny. Geodude almost made this list because of that. At 71, we have Vikavolt, whose colors were already cool, but the shiny is just next level. At 70, we have Hawlucha, giving off the Rey Mysterio vibes. If you stuck with me for this long, here's a little sneak peek at the future of the list. Delibird is nowhere on it. Aww. Instead, he comes bearing gifts for this Christmas season. So if you're like me and you still haven't bought all your gifts yet, then check out these awesome candles from Torrid Candle Company. Seriously, these are the best candles I've ever smelled in my life. Each one is handmade with marbled cement, and they use 100% natural ingredients that are good for the environment if you care about stuff like that. But I hate the environment. Yeah, well, everybody hates you. Eat a butt, Greg. With scents like hot apple pie, pumpkin caramel, gingerbread, and Christmas tree, candles are the easiest way for forgetful people like us to give really good gifts this year. Go to torridcandlecompany.llc and use code BLOCK to get 15% off your order. Now back to the list. At 69, nice, we have Gigantamax Gengar, a spooky boy with a big mouth. At 68, we have Hisuian Decidueye. The color palette reminds me of Bakugo, and honestly, I'm such a weeb, that's enough for me. At 67, we have Mega Camerupt. A beautiful design change, and honestly, this was good enough to be the original color palette. At 66, we have Cetitan. At 65, Mega Blaziken. Some might argue that Mega Blaziken doesn't change enough for their taste, but I just think the color palette works really well together. At 64, we have Clawitzer. At 63, we have Classic Charizard. At 62, we have Chi-Yu. Goldfish are already cool, and honestly, I like the original design of Chi-Yu more than a lot of Pokemon, but turning it into that light blue with the black ends is just, that is cool. At 61, we got Ho-Oh. Classic. This is gonna make people mad, but at 60, we have Jumpluff. Isn't that the cutest little fella you ever did see? It looks like bubblegum that's just too cute to chew. Don't you just want one? At 59, we got our cool boy here with Corviknight. Probably the coolest bird on this list. Well, that isn't a legendary. We'll get to that later. At 58, Primal Kyogre. Not my favorite from those games, but still pretty cool. 57, Pumpkaboo. At 56, Drifblim. A sick color palette that changes everything about the Pokemon. At 55, we have Solgaleo. And to be honest, it's the striking colors and the cool design of the Pokemon that do it for me, but other Pokemon do it better. It looks really intense, but they were maybe a little heavy-handed with the red and stuff. I don't know, personal opinion. But I couldn't rank it higher because of the lack of balance. You guys are gonna hate me for this, but at 54, we have Meowstic. Listen, we're not ranking how good the Pokemon is, how cool it is overall, or anything like that. We are ranking their shiny forms. How cool is it compared to its original? How much has changed? Does it take on a new identity? I feel like Meowstic answers all of these questions with a resounding yes, and it seems like a different Pokemon entirely. At 53, Zeraora. Really cool design at the start already, but this honestly takes it up just a bit for me. At 52, Regieleki, and before you go to the comments section and destroy me, hear me out. Sometimes it doesn't take a big change to make a shiny Pokemon worth it. Regieleki just changing the coils around him slightly make him a really cool Pokemon. I think that it adds balance to the design, and honestly, he was going to be cool no matter what, let's be honest. At 51, we have Chandelure. Turning the flames from purple to orange and making it more like a natural chandelier is honestly the biggest brain decision they could have made. At 50, we have Hoopa. Sometimes they just splash gold paint on some of these boys and they look way cooler for it. Hoopa is that rule exemplified. At 49, we have Dhelmise. Again, not an extraordinary Pokemon for battling or anything like that, but just changing the color palette of this guy makes all the difference. So cool that he totally deserves to be in the top 50. At 48, we have Gigantamax Urshifu Single Strike. Yeah, Urshifu takes advantage of the Gigantamax rule more than anybody else. At 47, we have Zygarde at 10%, little doggy boy. Who knew just changing the black to white could make it such a cool design? Honestly, both are good. At 46, we got Gigalith. In the same way that I like when Rocky Boys turn to gold, I love it when they turn to diamond even more. At 45, Klawf. You know why? Because he kind of reminds me of that Blue Lobster meme that was going around for a little bit, I don't know. At 44, Mudkip. He pulls off the pink thing better than anyone else in the evolutionary line, and honestly, he's about as cute as Jumpluff. At 43, Milotic. An elegant Pokemon no matter what, but the shiny just cranks it up to 1,000,000. At 42, Palossand. Tell me that black sand design does not look epic. At 41, Metagross. Yeah, you knew he was gonna make this list, come on. At 40, we have Hisuian Zorua. Again, Blue Flames are an instant winner when it comes to Pokemon shinies. At 39, we have Excelgor. The gold mask just makes him the coolest freaking ninja bug thing you've ever seen. At 38, we have Golisopod. Not the most overt changes, but honestly, he looks like a Power Ranger, or like Shredder, I don't know. But as cool as he is, he's completely one-upped and outdone by Wimpod. Which sounds crazy, but Wimpod takes better advantage of the color palette than his evolution does. At 36, we have Fennekin, the best in its evolutionary line at taking advantage of these colors as well. At 35, we have Galarian Moltres. And if you're not familiar with the newer games, Galarian Moltres normally looks like this. The reason why I love its shiny is because it pays homage to the original Moltres, even though they have nothing to do with each other. In a lot of ways, I think it improves on the design of the original Moltres as well, so I have to rank this highly. At 34, Primal Groudon. I mean, there's not much to say, the color palette is insane. But not as insane as this normal type Pokemon that has been long forgotten by the Pokemon Company, Zangoose. You can cry about it all you want in the comments, but he's going to be number 33 and I will not change my mind. Just be careful because I've heard that people who complain in comment sections on YouTube a lot get Ligma. What's Ligma? Funny you ask. Ligma is kind of similar to Slugma, number 32 on the list. I don't get it. Slugma balls. At 31, Mega Houndoom. Changing the black to a blue honestly doesn't help as much as the design of the Pokemon itself, but it is still super cool, so I have to add it. Same thing with Mega Gallade at 30. This Pokemon was going to make this list regardless of what colors they chose. It's just so good. But at 29, we have Morgrem. This absolute beast takes advantage of this color palette more than anything else in its evolutionary line. He's given off like these Sephiroth vibes. I don't know, it's like the white hair maybe or something. Whatever, super cool, adding him. At 28, we have Origin Giratina. Do you say Giratina or Giratina? Because I bounce back and forth, I don't really care. Super cool design, super cool color palette, super cool Pokemon list. At number 27, Incineroar. There is no way this guy was not making this list. Same goes for this next starter, Greninja, which just goes to show that ninjas are cooler when they wear black, every time. At 25, we have Trevenant, who was already spooky before, but this just takes the cake. Incredible design. At 24, we have Poipole, who ironically is no longer Poipole anymore. I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke, I am so sorry. Please subscribe. At 23, Pheromosa. Incredible design. At 22, we have Litten, who I think does a better job than Incineroar at using the color palette to its advantage. Plus it gets extra points for being super cute, like come on. At 21, we have Imbor. Again, you just turn the flames blue and something in my brain goes, oh, I like that a lot. Alright, this is where we get serious. At number 20, we have Hisuian Zoroark. The rest of these Pokemon will hardly need any explanation at all. You can't tell me that that's not one of the coolest shiny Pokemon you've ever seen. At number 19, we have Koraidon. This guy's like your dad's cool motorcycle that he keeps in the garage and doesn't ride, but he won't let you touch it either because that's how cool it is. At number 18, we have the glizziest gobbler in the world, Guzzlord. Again, nothing they could do to keep this from being cool and making the top 20. At number 17, we have Mega Medicham. This thing looks like an absolute beast, and this color palette only helps it in every way possible. At number 16, we have Xurkitree, and honestly, I just couldn't escape putting this really high on the list. I knew it was going to be cool regardless, but just changing the black to a blue did something incredible for it. At number 15, we have Victini. Changing the tan to a stark white made all the difference for this guy. Super cool design, super cool mon, super cool shiny. At 14, we see him again, fellas, Mega Metagross. Adding a blue X to his face surprisingly changed a lot. At 13, we have Sylveon, an absolute icon. This one's gonna throw you for a loop though. At 12, we have Cryogonal. And I know that nobody really likes this Pokemon at all, but the shiny is incredible. He's like a super version of that mask from Crash Bandicoot all those years ago. What's his name? Apu Apu? Whatever. It's an incredible Pokemon. This shiny is intense. But at number 11, before we break the top 10, the one Pokemon that made it just on the outside is Mega Rayquaza. That is going to upset a lot of people, I know, but honestly, the top 10 were so incredible to me, I just could not find a way to squeeze him in. Which is really gonna upset you guys when you see who did make it in. Because at number 10, in my opinion, just a little bit cooler than Mega Rayquaza, is Iron Bundle. Yes, Delabird's useful cousin from the future is cooler, in my opinion, than Mega Rayquaza. Here's why. The color palette for Iron Bundle sucks about as bad as Delibird, let's just be honest. But Iron Bundle, removing the excess and just leaving this awesome chrome silver and that beautiful icy blue, it all comes together. And as upset as many of you might be, I will not apologize. Iron Bundle deserves top 10 recognition, and I'm gonna give it to him. At number 9, we have Obstagoon. This needs no explanation. This is one of the sickest Pokemon I've ever seen. At number 8, Volcanion. They splashed that gold paint on him and gave him a bunch of jewels, bedazzled him, and now my boy is looking fly. At number 7, we have Miraidon, who honestly was just way cooler than Koraidon if you ask me. He looks so sick, futuristic, electrifying. This thing has it all. At number 6, we have Zygarde Complete, who I'm not even sure you can actually get in the games. The dude looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, or a Digimon, or literally any cool gigantic kaiju monster thing in Japanese culture. This is the pinnacle of Pokemon, but not the pinnacle of this list, however. Now here it is, the moment you've been waiting for, the top 5 Pokemon. This is where it gets real. I wasn't accepting slander for the top 50, but the top 5 are so near and dear to my heart that if you do disagree with me, you're canceled. That's it. I'm calling your mom. I'm gonna call your mom. I'm gonna tell her what you said on Xbox Live, and that's it. You're canceled. You're done. At number 5, we have Galarian Articuno. You should have probably seen this coming when I was gushing over Galarian Moltres, but this Pokemon just takes everything about the original Articuno and makes it a million times better. It uses the colors better than its original inspiration, and that says something. It is so elegant in its design. It's just a cooler Pokemon all around, and I love its shiny for it. So it should come as no surprise that at number 4, Galarian Zapdos is on the list. This is by far the coolest of all of the legendary birds that exist in the game, period. It's peak design. Regular Zapdos could never. This bird ate and left no crumbs. Galarian Zapdos is almost the best thing I've ever seen. But there are 3 more that will take the cake. At number 3, the internet's favorite, and my favorite up until I made this video, Mega Gengar. I mean, he was on the thumbnail. You knew he was going to make this list. This might be the coolest shiny in Pokemon that isn't a legendary, and you'll see why with our top 2 picks. I feel like we have to premiere them at the same time because they're so closely related to each other. At numbers 1 and 2, we have Yveltal and Xerneas. Honestly, before I live streamed, I didn't even know what their shinies looked like. I never bothered checking them out. But when I saw them on this list, I just knew they were going to top it. I mean, look at Xerneas. The slight change in the hue of the blue makes all the difference. The colorful rainbow horns and changing the black to white. This Pokemon is peak design. There are no flaws. If you disagree, you're wrong. You're canceled again. Same goes for Yveltal, who's my personal favorite at number 1. Changing all the black to white changed everything about its design. It looks so intimidating, so sick. This looks like the god of death and destruction. If I'd only known what the shiny looked like when I was playing Pokemon Y, I would have soft reset my game for years just to get my hands on it. There are no flaws in its design other than its type weakness. Come on, Game Freak. But honestly, this Pokemon is peak design as well. There are no flaws. These are the perfect representation of what Pokemon should be as shinies, and they would absolutely make the hunt worth it. So, what do you think? Did your favorite shiny Pokemon make the list at all? And if it did, where did it rank? If you want to yell at me in the comments, go down below and tell me why I'm an idiot or something. I don't know. Tell me what changes you'd like to see on the list and how you would do it differently. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you're awesome and I love you, but not as much as Jesus loves you. Check out this other content and subscribe for more. Merry Christmas. Later.